Next to us, with Bill Wennington, Steve Kashul, this is Brian Scalabrine, the former Chicago Bull, now part of the Comcast Sportsnet New England group, working the Celtics games, both as a analyst and color guy. So, Scal, welcome back to Chicago.
Fantastic introduction right there. I can sense the jealousy over here. You're like, how long has it been since you got an introduction like that?
I never had any good nicknames either.
Yeah.
Come to think of it.
I mean, I am so blessed to have played in the Stacey King era.
The White Mamba. Yeah. That's right. Scal, do you miss wearing the Bulls red and white?
By the way, look at that fantastic pass right there, huh? No, I do. I miss the relationships. I miss Tibbs, and I miss just battling every day in practice. And you know a crazy thing? I miss the highs and the lows of the NBA. Right now I have a more even keel life, but it's been a fantastic journey. I really love doing this. And when I go home at night and I lay my head on a pillow, I fall right to sleep.
I got to ask you still working out?
I train all the time, the time.
My first 2 years out, I worked just as hard as I worked when I did. My body didn't hurt as much because, you're going in your own pace mostly. Your body feeling pretty good right now?
Fantastic. I was telling people I spend more time training now and I'm more efficient now because I'm not sitting around at practice for 2 hours just watching what's going on. So it's when I'm at the gym, I'm playing pickup. When I'm in the weight room, I'm lifting. It's like perfect. My time management is fantastic.
Well, you got offered an assistant coach's job with Tom Thibodeau. You turned it down to join the Celtics broadcasting crew.
Yeah.
Why did you turn it down?
So, Joe Kim asked me that same question today, and he was a little bit upset because I was going to be working with him and I was going to help develop him. And I just told him, and I summed it up, this is the best way to describe it. Joe, I didn't tell you no, I told my children yes. And that's the best way to describe it.
We're with Brian Scalabrine and Bill Wennington. I'm Steve Kashul. Bulls and Celtics tonight. So tell us about the Boston Celtics, Scal. The last of a 3-game road trip. You lost Friday and Saturday to Houston and San Antonio. How are the Celtics playing right now?
There's a lot of talk and all the chatter has been around the consistency of playing 48 good quality minutes. And it doesn't mean every time you're out there you have to play well. What it means is you have to do the right thing. You have to make the right play. You have to set the right screen. And Doc is searching for this team to be consistent for 48 minutes. And they've been sort of up and down throughout the year. And even on this trip, they put great quarters against San Antonio, and then they faltered a quarter, and that was the difference in the game. Same thing in Houston. So tonight, what you're looking for is the Celtics to be consistent, and that's the effort that Doc wants from them.
And, Bill, it sounds like what Scal's saying, kind of what happened to the Bulls last night in Memphis. That one bad second quarter, they got outscored 28-14 after leading 20-11 after one quarter.
Ellington comes in and hits 3 threes in a row, and then they make 2 more and hit 5 threes in that one quarter, and that was it. The Bulls could never recover from it. And then it was a close game. It was never really a blowout. But then the game against Memphis with the Bulls, they're going to be close games. And a 5-point game is like a 10-point game. It's just so hard to get back into that game with the defensive flow and the guys the way they play. And then it's the little mistakes at the end of the game that just hurt you, where a little turnover here or a non-hustle play there, it's going to do you in.
Scal, do the Celtics still have it in them? They still believe Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, as old as they are, they can still win a championship?
Yes, they do. And what everyone is anticipating, and I know he outside of the NBA circle, he's not a significant guy, but a guy named Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley's coming back, and his ball pressure, and Bill knows when you have a guy playing at such a high level, he has a great motor, he plays hard every possession. He's one of those rare guys that pick up the ball full court, and that rarely happens in the NBA. But when you see that and you're a player, you pick your game up too. So everyone's kind of looking for this kid to sort of pick up the defensive energy of the team and then see what happens at this time. If at that point, if the Celtics are still a 500 ball club, then I guess they have to reevaluate of where they're at.
I was disappointed that he got hurt because I thought he was playing terrific ball last year, and in the playoffs he gets hurt. What's the time frame on him coming back? Have they said it?
You know what? His first practice was just the other day here at the United Center, so it's just a matter of time for him to get a few practices. And in the NBA, it's hard to get those.
Yeah.
But it's just you got to get this kid in there. He's got to bump around. It's both shoulders. It's not one. So he's got to feel on how the hits are and how he recovers the next day. But it's going to be soon. And don't expect him to come back play 38 minutes. It's going to be he's going to ease into it. But a lot of pressure on a player that's not a big superstar to come back and help this team kind of bump up to that next level.
This is our Bulls pregame show, BMO Harris Bank pregame live. I'm Steve Kashul with Bill Wennington and Brian Scalabrine, the former Bull, now a Celtics announcer. Guys, let's talk about Joakim Noah, because Scal mentioned that how close he is to Joe. Bill, will begin with you because he's having an all-star season. Tell Brian how good he's been.
He has been our most consistent player night in, and you know, Joe, he plays with that energy and his heart on his sleeve and the passion every night, and he's just been rebounding well. And he's really found, I mean, you know, his jump shot is kind of goofy looking, but it's going.
Yeah.
And it's working for him. So he's just been playing terrific for us and been that guy that I think has been able to step up and play consistently all year long, and he really hasn't had a bad game.
And a lot of people have talked about, like, he is a good player because of Derrick Rose, but when you have a guy, and this is rare in the NBA, who can play every time he's on the floor, play hard as he does, the cream is eventually going to rise to the top. Those offensive rebounds, he's going to get those. Then the jump shot's going to flow. Then I think he's leading all centers in assists, right, this year.
Probably.
And so when he does that, it gives you a different dimension to the team. He's a playmaking center who also rebounds, runs the floor, and can come out on the break. I mean, he's a unique guy. Don't look at him as like a typical center. No. You got to look at him at what he does, and I'm a big fan.
Yep.
Guys, final question. Looking after both sides of the rivalry, is there a big rivalry here with the Bulls and Celtics? I mean, you know, the crowd's getting involved. The fans were talking about it today. Celtics are in town, second of a back-to-back for the Bulls. But hey, whenever the Celtics are here, it's a big game.
It's a big game, and I think it all kind of starts from that one series with all the overtimes and
Derrick's rookie year, wasn't it?
Yeah, Derrick's rookie year when he played fantastic. And I think a lot of it has to do with Joakim Noah and Kevin Garnett. Two players that absolutely hate each other, but in deep down, if you strip it all away, they would love playing with each other. It would be phenomenal to see. But I have respect for both those guys. Both of those guys are my guys, and I am so excited about seeing this battle tonight.
It'll be a good one. It always is, and it's always fun. You like that. As an athlete, you like to come into rivalries and play. You want to play in games that give you that extra oomph and puff up your chest a little bit more to play in.
Agree. With 82 games in a season, you're always looking for different ways to motivate yourself.
I have to ask you this, Brian Scalabrine. What was it like hearing your name chanted each and every night here at the United Center, whether you played or not?
I'll tell you what. All the fine people in Chicago, they came down, they laid big money to come watch me and the rest of the team play. But when we get up by 20 and I get in the game, I got to give the people what they want. And because I tried and I strive to give them what they want every time out there, I went out there and laid it on the line. I love the people out here for it.
Tell them.